The origin of Swahili. Swahili people are Bantus from eastern coast of Africa along Indian Ocean. The earliest known documents written in Swahili are letters written in Kilwa, Tanzania in the year 1711 in the Arabic script that were sent to Mozambique. Swahili coast stretches along the edge of Africa from Somalia in the north to Mozambique in the south. Swahili language is a mixture of Bantu languages from the coast of East Africa and has a high number of loanwords from Arabic, Portuguese, German, and English. Large population of Swahili speakers are in Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Congo, Burundi, Rwanda, Comoros, Mozambique, and Somalia. Others are in Zambia, Malawi, Madagascar, and Oman. Swahili language is grouped under Niger-Congo family, while a culture is a Bantu core with loanwords from other nations. Swahili, also known as Kiswahili, is the fastest growing language in Africa. It is an official language in 7 countries. They are Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Mozambique, and Comoros. Swahili language is spoken by over 150 million people across East and Central Africa. It is also among the 10 most widely spoken languages in the world. Nigeria is in West Africa. Swahili is spoken in East Africa. Nigerians speak English and Nigerian Pidgin English, as well as hundreds of African languages such as Hausa, Fulani, Yoruba, Igbo, Kanuri, and Efik Ibibio. Swahili is not an indigenous language in Nigeria. It is mostly spoken by experts or those who have specific interest in the language and those who are coming from Swahili-speaking countries living in Nigeria. Swahili is also spoken in the northwestern part of Madagascar. It is taught in universities in Germany, Ghana, Zimbabwe, and many countries outside Africa. In the U.S., Swahili is the leading sub-Saharan African language taught in over 100 colleges and universities. Canada has Canada Swahili Institute Inc. that promotes exchange and development programs with Swahili-speaking countries of Africa. In 2022, Uganda has named Swahili as an official language. Swahili is currently taught to school children. The most spoken language after Luganda and English is Swahili. Swahili is taught in schools as an optional additional language. It is mostly spoken by the Ugandan army. A shortage of teachers and materials, lack of government commitment, and opposition from sections of the public have in the past hindered the introduction of Swahili into classrooms in Uganda. All past Uganda's presidents and the current one speak fluent Swahili, but Uganda is the only East African community country where Swahili is not a lingua franca. In Rwanda, Swahili is one of the official languages of Rwanda. Rwandan lawmakers approved the Swahili as one of the official languages in order to reapproach their local historical roots. Swahili is used by some people in commerce and is taught as a subject in schools. Swahili and Nyarwanda are both Bantu languages, but they are very different from each other. Congo has a large population of Swahili speakers. Few people in the Democratic Republic of Congo speak Swahili as their first language. Swahili is one of the government's recognized languages of Congo. It is native to the eastern part of Congo. Researchers suggest that the transfer of Swahili language to Congo's local languages in eastern part of the country is bidirectional. Swahili in Somalia is not an official language, but is considered to be a minority language of the country. Swahili is spoken in the southern part of Somalia, bordering Kenya. Other Swahili speakers in Somalia are those of Tanzanian and Mozambican Bantu ancestry. Majority of Swahili speakers in Somalia are in Bajuni Islands. In Oman, approximately 22,000 people out of a population of 3 million speak Swahili in the country. Arabic, Swahili, and English is a constituting part of Afro-Arab identity constructions for many Omani citizens. Comoro Islands people speak a dialect of Swahili known as Ngazija or Comorian. Comorian is closely related to Swahili, but some people recognize them as two different languages rather than being a dialect of Swahili. Comorian is spoken throughout the Comoros, together with other languages, French and Arabic. Swahili in South Africa, Botswana, and Namibia. Swahili and Zulu are useful languages in Africa. They are both spoken in different parts of the continent, south and east. However, there are a number of Swahili speakers in South Africa, including the locals. Majority of South Africans who speak Swahili are those who were studying in Tanzania while in exile in 1970s. Many were in universities, while others were at the Solomon Mahlangu Freedom College in Morogoro, Tanzania. South Africa and Botswana have introduced Swahili in schools, while Namibia and others are considering doing it. Other Swahili speakers are those from Swahili-speaking countries living in South Africa, working or for other reasons. In Burundi, Swahili has been encouraged in recent years and is widely spoken in Bujumbura, as is French. Swahili is spoken in Burundi as part of the widely spoken language in the Great Lake regions and the language of trade. Swahili in this country is especially used and connected with the country's Muslim minority or with immigration from elsewhere in East Africa. Swahili, Mozambique. Swahili is commonly spoken in parts of northern Mozambique. The government of Mozambique has recognized Swahili and as official minority language. Mozambique is part of the East Africa's Swahili belt. For this reason, many of its citizens are fluent in Swahili. There are roughly 90,000 speakers of Swahili in the United States. Swahili is the leading African language spoken in the United States. The large concentration of Swahili speakers can be found in the Texas, Massachusetts, California, Maryland, Georgia, and Minnesota. Swahili is taught in over 100 institutions in the U.S.A. alone. Among these are St. Lawrence University, Harvard, Yale, Stanford, Princeton, and many other well-known colleges and universities. The official languages of Kenya are English and Swahili. Swahili has been the national language of Kenya since 1964 and is official since 2010. Like in other parts of East African coast, Swahili originated from the intermarriage of Arabs with the coastal communities and contacts of Arabian traders with Bantus. All these countries mentioned here have different Swahili dialects. Main East Africa's Swahili dialects are Kimrima, Kimvita, Kiunguja, Kiamu, Kigwana, Kingazija, and Kimtangata. Swahili learners go for the origin of the person teaching them or their geographical location of the Swahili-speaking country. It is very common to find foreign nationalities speaking different Swahili dialects depending on the country of origin of the person teaching them the language, or where they learned or lived while learning Swahili. There are differences on the way native Swahili speakers speak, as well as how they mix and code switch the language. Tanzanians and Kenyans mix and code switch with English. Central Africans mix and code switch with French. And that's it for today. Thank you for following us.